Alright, before we get into the exercises for this video, we have to talk a little bit about something that I cannot show you, which is what is happening in here, in the throat and in the mouth. There's a concept called voicing. So what I want you to do right now is say ah, e, all kinds of different vowel sounds, and feel what your throat and your tongue and the inside of your mouth is doing. The super not so secret method for playing high notes on the saxophone and for playing overtones on the saxophone has to do with this concept of voicing. It's not changing pressure or airspeed or anything like that. It's really all to do with the throat. So, in order to trick yourself to get it, at least for the first few, which you can, the first few exercises, which you can probably do by accident and probably have done by accident if you've ever tried to play a low B flat on the saxophone. The first overtone, the middle B flat, is often the one that you play by accident. So we're going to start with exercise 1. And when I change notes, I'm going from the middle B flat to the low B flat. I'm not using the thumb at all for any of these exercises, except for when we get to the actual high notes, using the actual fingering for those notes. The first exercise is called tone matching, and the goal is to make the higher note sound like the overtone note, which is going to sound bigger and fuller. And I apologize for what is about to happen sound-wise. I've never practiced these on alto before. I'm a tenor player, but most of my students, all of my students that play saxophone are alto students. So it makes more sense to do this for them. Let's get to it. This is exercise number 1, tone matching. We're going to play each note, each series of notes a couple of times. So we're going to do the B flat, the middle B flat first. This is the middle B flat, and then the long B flat. I didn't quite voice that right. Let's see. That one's the most difficult. F is probably the easiest one. This is F. I'm actually going to switch it around. I'm going to do what it says on the page. I'm going to start on the long F with the overtone B flat. It sounds like this. And then I'm going to go to F, just regular F. And the goal is to make them sound the same. I'll go on to the next one. This is the high B flat, but played with the overtone B flat, and then the high B flat fingered regularly. Okay. I'm just going to play through the rest of these. This is D. F. be like a flat A flat when we do the overtone. At least it should be if it's in tune. And then the highest B flat. I think that's enough of that. Okay, the next exercise, well, you can do the tone matching on any of the lowest notes. I would say it stops being useful around D, low D. So you can do these intervals above B, above C, and of course the upper notes are going to have to move up also. The second exercise on this page is using all of the low notes to play scales or pieces of scales. Let me just play the first one. This is exercise number 2, and it's the F major scale up to the 5th note and back down using the low note fingerings. This is F. Okay, you know what your scale sounds like. If you're not sure exactly what it's supposed to sound like, try playing the regular fingerings for that scale and then doing the overtones like this. Those are regular fingerings, and then overtone fingerings. Scales that are written there. And then exercise 3 is just the same thing, but a whole octave of the scale instead. Here's the first one. This is the F major scale. I'm going to do it with regular fingerings first, and then the overtone fingerings. That's a thing. Alright, I'm afraid I have to stop, otherwise I might get evicted, or something like that. I usually do these, when I was practicing these a lot on tenor, I was doing it outside, to be honest with you. I would go to a local sunken amphitheater early in the morning, no one's around, and just do these, and listen to the echo off the walls. But it was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Not that you have to enjoy these sorts of things. These are all found in a book called Top Tones by a saxophone player named Sigurd Rascher. I have provided a worksheet in the description, which I should probably say before I start playing these things. I always do. So, you can work on the rest on your own. I would say spend a lot of time on number 1, tone matching. before you move on to number 2 or number 3. Tone matching is the one that you're going to get the most out of early on and for the longest time, and that's probably the one that you should do every day that you play for the rest of your life. And then you'll have great saxophone tone and more accurate high notes and good throat voicing. Take it just a few overtones at a time. Don't feel pressured to get to the highest ones right away. I mean, like, if you don't get up to the F, the high F, after a couple months, that's fine. The highest F, not the middle F. The middle F should be the easiest one. If you can't get up to the high F after a couple months, that's fine. Take your time with it. I did this for a little more than a year consistently, on tenor, of course. So if you got something out of this, please subscribe to the channel. If you didn't make it this far, then you're not listening to me. You're not a real saxophone player. No. Go practice some overtones. Have a nice day.